We're gearing up, my friends, for a celestial. I would say next 3 months are going to be pretty intense. So, wanted to step in and really talk about the energy currents that are going to be coming in. And so, today I really want to focus on the powerful significance of what is going to be going on with our nation. And pretty serious, y'all. So, let's go ahead and tune in, okay? Now, there are all different types of astrology, and I understand that. Different astrologers have a slightly different view on how the planets line up, which, is important and influential. So, right now, there is a lot of talk about the planetary return in the recent years. Now, these shifts have started a few years back, but they're really now coming into focus as the densities are coming into the Earth. So, we want to focus on what's happening now in this moment and what's going to be coming through astrologically in the coming days, weeks, and months. It is certainly many celestial events. And so we have Aries creating a near total solar eclipse. And currently, this eclipse is happening in part of our nation's chart that represents its core on our foundations, our homes, our roots. And so, adding to this intensity, we're really seeing these powerful connections between Saturn and Neptune. And they are going to get very strong over the next 3 months. So, the alignment is happening right now at the cusp of some very foundational areas on the nation's chart, really. So, Neptune is in the position that suggests dissolving structures that are already in place. And we're certainly seeing that happen. And at the same time, Saturn's presence, which points to the need to rebuild and reshape those foundations, is coming in. So you can see the polarities at play here. And it becomes really clear that in the coming months, the very essence of our nation, as many around the world have come to know, is going through a very drastic change, muchly needed. So we're talking about systems, constitutions, frameworks, how we in business relate to our customers, our clients, how we treat each other on a personal level, and how it influences and dissolves certain structures and then creates firmer ones that are more conducive, a conduit to the light that we really want to be in this world with strong boundaries that work for us. So whether this is rebuilding and it's going on in a positive step forward, or maybe a challenging period, it is still something that we are in our current time seeing unfold. And it definitely is a force at work pushing all of us into lower densities that is causing us to either feel the sense of restructuring and calling in the higher light of our soul to pull us in and out of these denser energies that are choosing to collapse and or choosing to stay in on a planetary level. All different kinds of energies, galactic, humans, non-humans. And the celestial body is really going to be repositioning itself strongly as our nation's chart. And it's going to feel somewhat like an implosion, even something not as necessarily as big as an explosion like a nuke, but the information that's going to be coming through, the insights that are coming through, that many people have been choosing to ignore is going to feel like an implosion. So later in the year, then we have another planetary shift that's going to pause all of this. And it's going to be a change in relationships and its place in the world stage. So this could mean shifts in who you're partnering with. It could be supporting global relationships and how we restructure. Historically, it's been really expansive and influential as a source that when these energies comes in, it's biphasic and it looks inward and it becomes very much like an inside out global restructuring, recognizing of self and other, that we all see at the same time the change that is necessary. And it's definitely going to have its challenges, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Change is bumpy, but it is so needed. It's like an elastic band. Eventually, the tension releases and we come back down and we have significant change and we have a significant shift. So, astrologically, we're going to pinpoint May and October as times when the nation's really roll into a new structure where we really are going through a transformation and it starts to come down into solidification. So while there are many voices pushing towards radical changes in the way that things are done, history shows us that time and time again, the challenge actually opens up the door for new ideas, new way of doing things. We see that in robotics, humanoids. We see that in the spiritual world where you can't really fluff yourself anymore around the areas of new consciousness coming in the next few years. You have to actually fucking live it. Okay. So this time calls for us to both be aware, to be hopeful, to believe in the strengths of ourselves, of people, and our ability to adapt, to have the ability to understand post-traumatic stress. And transformation feels overwhelming, my friends, but it holds so much potential for real renewal, real change, real chance, real hope. Navigate them with awareness, with strength, with resilience, with a hopeful vision for you and for yourself, first and foremost. You cannot have the vision of somebody else. I really want to press upon you. Go deep in the heart. If you need support, reach out for an Akashic holographic reading, where we really look at, just like the global astrological lens of unconscious contracts that are moving the world, that are unconscious, that Mother Gaia is choosing to implode. You are part of Mother Gaia and you're choosing to implode. But the real essence of this is how you choose to go through it. And really, when we're moving from the unknown, when I take a client through an unconscious contract in a holographic reading, is the fear of the unknown is then traversed and we move into the knowing. We can see clearly what it was. We remove the archetypal shadow and all of the light comes pouring in. Is the most beautiful energetic exchange. And it goes away. It does not come back. And unless you choose for it to do. And at that time, you really are moving into the light. You really are moving into a chakra clearing that gets rid of the distortions, which I see so many people on the stage, especially spiritual healers and influencers, doing all their light language and doing all these things that are begging for attention. And where you go when you get done with a holographic reading, there is no begging for attention. The attention is so focused, centered in your heart. That you're present and you carry your own power within and power with others with equal, no hierarchy. You're an equal. And you have your own power. And you ask people to step up into their own power versus moving down into the lower density frequencies again within your soul or trying to save someone. And that's what it's being called for. That's what we're being called into and to do. So that's the astrological outlook. It's like you didn't know this was coming. Saturn comes in as we move out of Pisces and we move into the next Aquarian frontier. There's so much good things ahead. So take that energy exchange. I love you. And if you need any support, reach out for a holographic reading.